Good morning, everybody. So, a couple of years ago, I ended up quitting my job in order to pursue trading full time. And about a year ago, I posted this video. And at this point, I've gone back to working full time. So, I've decided to, reply to my old self and admit to being wrong in a way, swallowing my pride and letting y'all know exactly what's going on. So, let's do this.
Most people save up a year's worth of expenses before they end up quitting their job.
And really, you should probably save about 3 years of expenses, especially if it's trading, because for me, I had maybe a year's worth of runway. And with trading, it's very volatile. Honestly, I lost about $8,000 last year in trading options. I've made up a large part of that in crypto over the last couple of months, but there's ebbs and flows to trading, and you have to really account for that. So yeah, save 3 years of expenses before you start trading, please.
I decided to take the exact opposite approach. I quit my job with $10,000 of debt. I jumped straight into the deep end to pursue gambling full time through options trading. Statistically, this shouldn't have worked out.
And it didn't at this point, but
Luck
okay.
had a very small role in my success. It was the traits that I learned along the way that have led me to do what I love for a living and unlock my unlimited growth potential. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing the traits that led to my success.
That editing now.
I was about 25 years old whenever I had quit. At this point, I had been getting my college degree for about 6 years, and I was working various part-time jobs in order to make ends meet. And the jobs that I kept working were super unfulfilling. And the closer that I got to actually finish.
So the job that I'm working now is actually extremely fulfilling. To the point where I actually enjoy working overtime, even though I don't get paid extra for it. Because I'm solving problems that I otherwise wouldn't have encountered. And it's actually very nice. Yeah, I'm working for a corporation at this point, but it aligns more with my values than what I was doing before. Like I said, I was working a call center job. I was working at Cinemark, scrubbing toilets. So it's kind of amazing to see the growth. Now I'm working in private equity, just as an analyst, but yeah, the growth has been exciting. So
my degree, which I was about a year from finishing, the more that I realized that I would be in the same place that I was. I'd be working for some corporation, even as a software engineer, to where I didn't have any of my own freedom. And throughout these 6 years that I was getting my CS degree and working these different part-time jobs, trading was always in the background. I'd started trading about 2016, and I was never really good at it, but
and I'm still probably not the best at it, considering that I had to go back to work, but
knew this is something that I wanted to pursue. So in March of 2020, I quit my job. I dropped out of college in order to pursue trading full time with my whopping $3,000 that I had saved up in cash. This was absolutely ridiculous, infeasible for most people, and something that probably shouldn't have worked out, but it did. And today I'm going to be giving you some traits and some actionable tips that you can take and apply to be on the same path. The first and the biggest lesson that I learned from this experience is that you will succeed at what you spend your time with.
amen to that. Amen.
This is what's known as time dedication. If you spend, say, 24 hours a day learning piano, then you're going to get pretty freaking good at it pretty freaking quickly. But if you only spend maybe 1 hour a week learning how to play piano, then you're going to progress and get better a lot slower than the person that's doing it every day, 24 hours a day.
Exactly. So you think of somebody like Beethoven versus somebody like me that maybe play piano for about an hour or so. You get better at wherever you spend your time. And right now, I feel like, unfortunately, I'm very spread thin. And my job, studying for my CFA, I kind of feel like that's the way the world has moved towards. I don't know if it's just a me problem, but
You have too many distractions, then you're not going to get good at any specific task. Like for me, I was trading, working, and getting an education all at the same time. These were all very time intensive. And whenever I dedicated myself for a couple years just towards my education, I had a 3.8 GPA. But then I started mixing in working part time,
good
and
editing.
trading on the side, and my GPA slowly dropped below 3.0. So this hammers in the point that you get good at where you spend your time. Think about something that you've spent a lot of time with and how good you are at that specific skill. And this can be any skill, it doesn't matter. You need to apply the same logic to your trading. So you need to spend more time trading if you want to get good at trading.
So that's very true in the sense that it is a skill that you have to build over time. But the problem with trading is you can build all of the skill in the world and still go on tilt. To where if you have a bad day with the family, or if there's just something wrong mentally, it can really impact you in trading. And sometimes it doesn't even need a catalyst. Sometimes just a loss by itself can be a catalyst for more loss. So it's not all about skill. It's a lot of mental capacity you have too.
The more time that you spend looking at charts, looking at balance sheets, analyzing stocks, and actually putting in the trades, the better that you're going to get at trading. If you don't actually put in any trades and you're just learning through these different YouTube videos, then you're not going to get any results. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And
Yes. So what's funny about that is the job that I'm working now, I wasn't actually planning to apply for, and it kind of just fell in my lap. I mean, it took the interview process probably took like 3-4 weeks, but I saw the job and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get that job, why should I even apply for it? But I did. And like I said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and I took that shot and actually succeeded. So
and missing shots and failure is inevitable. You need to take these failures that you're inevitably going to run into and use them as a learning experience. The truth is that trading is fucking hard.
Yep.
There's a reason why the stock market attracts some of the most brilliant minds from every field.
And I'm about as dumb as rocks.
It's extremely challenging, you will fail, and you need to recognize that failure is default. About 90% of traders fail, and I believe the reason why most traders fail is because they don't have the perseverance
Or they don't have the amount of capital to keep them going, in my case.
push through the hard times that it takes in order to reach success. So you need to plan to fail, and you need to know what to do if you end up blowing up your account. For me, I've gone months where I just lost money month after month after month, and I've blown up my account about 3 or 4 times at this point. But instead of letting those losses eat me up and make me quit trading, I use them as a learning experience.
And I feel like that's really where I ended up going wrong.
And this goes into tracking your trades.
So I stopped tracking my trades probably around August or September of last year, and it's something that I want to get back into. It's just very hard whenever you're super time constrained to like manually enter your trades. It's actually a passion project that I'm currently working on. I'll give more details in some coming videos, but yeah, I stopped tracking my trades, and I feel like that's really where I ended up going wrong. Keeping a journal and like understanding your trading patterns, I do think it helps a ton in preventing you from going on tilt.
Because what doesn't get measured doesn't improve. But if you measure your trading and learn where you go wrong, then you can prevent that in the future. But the thing is, you could just as easily let these losses allow you to quit trading. So you have to persevere and you have to learn from these losing experiences in order to develop yourself as a trader and in anything in life. Trading is a lifelong science experiment where you're going to go through trial and error. It's inevitable that you're going to make mistakes, but you need to learn from those mistakes and improve going forward. Each trade that you end up taking on is a risk. And the more that you continue to trade and the more experience that you gain, the more that each trade de-risks.
Unless you go on tilt. But yeah.
If you think about it, who is more likely to succeed? A trader that has 10 years of experience or a trader that has 10 days of experience? The trader with 10 years of experience has developed the knowledge to know how the markets react to different things, whereas a person that's been trading for 10 days is barely gaining their footing in the market. And the more grounded you are and the more knowledge that you have on the market, the more that you can leverage this in order to make profits and have long-term growth. So you need to plan to be in this for the long term. I know you've seen the rags to riches stories over on r/Wall Street Bets where somebody risked their life savings to make $1 million. But the
Shit, I wish I could do that, honestly, at this point. But yeah, trading involves a ton of risk. I mean, and it really is determined by you. You know, I can risk 1% of my account and, you know, maybe make 2-3% back, depending on what kind of strategy that I use. Or I can risk my entire account, do the same thing, and take my account from like $100,000 to $300,000 instead of, you know, an extra $2,000 from trading 1,000.
likelihood of that happening to you is about the likelihood of winning the lottery. And that's especially the case if you're a new trader. The more that you understand how the markets function and the more strategies that you know in order to trade the changing markets, the higher chance that you have at success and the more profits that you make. So you need to be in this long term for sustainable growth. In the beginning, whenever I started trading, I would literally just buy calls or buy puts based on how I felt about the company.
And towards the end of my trading career, if you want to call it that, I was basically doing the same thing. I actually lost my ability to trade on margin because my account went below 25,000, and I was just stuck with trading long calls or long puts. And I think I can go back to a margin account now that I'm not day trading at this point. Fucking technology. So the point I was trying to get at here was I was stuck with long calls, long puts. So my number of strategies that I was limited to was, you know, just two. Whereas before I was trading spread options, and that kind of allows you to trade in low volatility periods or high volatility periods and navigate it a lot easier than you can just with regular long options. If you're trading in low volatility periods, regular calls and regular puts just usually aren't going to work. But if you can trade vertical spreads instead, that'll help at least mitigate some of the IV crush that you'll get from low volatile markets.
If I liked the company, I would buy a call option. If I didn't like the company, I would buy a put. And my success rate at the time was about 50%. So obviously, this strategy wasn't working for me. But I started to gain some knowledge on how the markets react to different events, and I started to trade around earnings reports. So I would take advantage of the sentiment shifts before and after an earnings report, and I started to trade earnings about 2 to 3 times a week.
And I stopped using this strategy. I feel like that's where I kind of had my edge in trading, is whenever there's some sort of narrative shift in the market, in either an individual name or in the overall market, like this whole inflation mess that's going on now, you get much bigger changes in the market. And if you can predict that correctly, obviously you can be wrong at the same time, but if you can predict that correctly, that's where the biggest gains for me have come from, is not necessarily like tail events that are, you know, have a 2% likelihood, but something like inflation going up this summer that had probably about a 30% likelihood. So the odds were stacked against me, but I ended up being correct. And thus I've made probably about 20% on a small gold position. And then crypto, shit ton of money on crypto, but yeah.
Now that I've been trading for 3 years, I have about a 70% success rate, even trading options, a binary event, versus the 50% success rate that I had in the beginning.
And whenever I switch back to long options, just regular buying calls with regular puts, my win rate ended up dropping from that, 50, 70% to probably 30 to 50%. So again, it really depends on the strategy that you're using. I feel like with vertical spreads, it gives you a little bit more flexibility. And for me, that meant having a higher win rate. Obviously, you have to know how to trade spreads in order to be profitable with them, but it can kind of skew the numbers in your favor and help you make more profit.
So I put in the practice and I got good results from it. And the more practice that you put in with a conscious effort to improve, the better results that you're going to get from trading.
Yeah, I don't think that I was putting in a conscious effort to my trading at the end of my career. Again, I was just kind of buying calls or puts based on feelings, like gut feelings more so than anything, and it just wasn't what I was used to, and it wasn't my edge. So I feel like that's why I ended up failing.
Everything in life. Skills tend to compound over time. So take a skill within trading, such as learning how to read an earnings report or how economic data affects the stock market, or you could learn technical analysis, something that I've always struggled with, and use that skill to better your skill of trading. You need to dedicate time towards learning these skills and putting in the practice in order to get the results that you want from trading. And there's a million and one paths to trading. You can learn technical analysis, you can learn fundamental-based trading, you can learn event-based trading. There's a million and one ways to get up the mountain. But if you want to get up that mountain and you want to have success trading, you have to put in the conscious time and effort in improving your skills. You need to persevere through the hard times because it's going to happen. You're going to take losses, and you need to make a conscious effort to learn and improve your strategies. And at this point, this is when you'll experience success in trading and when you'll be able to quit your job like me.
I think that I had the right idea with this video and the structure of it. Something I guess I really should have touched on that doesn't get touched on enough in the options trading YouTube industry, or whatever you want to call it, is that the personal finance aspect of everything is critical. Like understanding people's risk tolerance and trying to cater their strategies to that, or understanding how much runway a person has if they're wanting to quit their job to trade options full time. Like for me, a year wasn't enough because there's ebbs and flows in the market. The market's going to be different each year, and you kind of have to either navigate that or fail until the market comes back to the conditions that are favorable for you. And I just didn't have enough runway. I think probably 3, 4, maybe even as much as 5 years, I know it sounds insane, of savings for covering your monthly expenses. I feel like that's really what you need in order to succeed in trading. And you need time on your side, definitely.
These are the 3 traits that I've learned in my trading to lead to my success. Let me know what traits you think are useful for trading. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of this video.
Yeah, so again, like I said, save up as much money as you can before you decide to just jump ship from your job. The more runway that you can give yourself, the less stressed you'll be, and towards the end of it, I was extremely stressed about just either trying to make my money back, after losing 8,000, or trying to get ahead in my savings. But I just was never able to make it. But now, I've got this full-time job. It's paying okay, to the point where I have excess savings each month, and hopefully I can build up that runway back to 3 years or so. I'm not sure if I would go back into trading full-time per se, just because of the variability that comes with it, and being a father at this point, it's very hard to have that super variable income. But something that I am kind of passionate about is providing people the tools in order to enhance their trading. So I started making my own spreadsheet in order for people to journal their trades. And it's very cumbersome to manually input all the data. And now I've got a passion project, like I talked about earlier, where I'm building a trading journal, and I feel like that's really where the beauty in trading is. It's, not these YouTube videos trying to hype people up. It's giving people the tools, the access that they need in order to explore this avenue. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say, and I'm sorry for anybody that I let down, but I think this is the path forward for me, and still going to be making videos here. I'm excited to make videos here. On top of what I'm doing at work, I'm not going to have as much time to post and respond to comments and all that, but all I can do is my best. So yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next video, guys. See ya.